Some people survive the impossible. A life-changing diagnosis, a heartbreak that shattered them, a failure so heavy it nearly crushed their identity. And yet somehow they rise. Not because they were stronger, not because they had more resources, but because they discovered a simple, often misunderstood shift in mindset. A shift so powerful, it can rebuild a person from the inside out. This is the quiet, almost secret science of gratitude. Not the holiday version, not the forced positivity, but the raw, transformative force that rewires pain, changes the healing process, and rebuilds people who thought they were broken forever. Today, we're going to explore exactly how this happens, not as a motivational slogan and not as a cliché, but as a real, tangible journey that can change your emotional, mental, and even physical recovery. Healing is never linear. It doesn't follow a timetable. It doesn't obey rules. It doesn't apologize for being slow or unpredictable. And when people talk about gratitude during tough times, it can almost feel offensive. Just be grateful. Think positive. Look on the bright side. But that isn't gratitude. That's suppression wrapped in a pretty bow. Real gratitude begins where forced positivity ends. It begins in the moments when life feels heavy, when your heartbeat feels slower, when your dreams seem far away, when you're tired of pretending you're okay. In those moments, gratitude is not about ignoring pain. It's about rebalancing your inner world so that pain doesn't consume every corner of it. And that is the first way gratitude changes the healing process. It doesn't erase the pain. It gives it context. Gratitude doesn't hide the pain. It creates space around it. Imagine pain as a dark room. New windows, new doors, just darkness wrapping around you, inch by inch. That's what suffering feels like when it takes over. Every thought becomes negative. Every memory feels heavy. Every future scenario looks hopeless. But gratitude, real, grounded gratitude, adds a window. Not to remove the darkness, but to remind you the world is bigger than this one room. Something as simple as, I'm grateful I still woke up today. I'm grateful my heart is still beating. I'm grateful I haven't given up. I'm grateful for the one friend who checked on me. These aren't grand statements. These are tiny openings that allow emotional oxygen into a suffocating space. Healing isn't about flipping a switch. It's about allowing light back into the mind slowly, gently, intentionally. And gratitude is often the first crack in the wall. Gratitude changes the way the body reacts to pain. Here's where the healing process truly transforms. When you're stressed, grieving, injured, or emotionally overwhelmed, your body switches into survival mode. Muscles tighten, breathing becomes shallow, your heartbeat rises. Your brain starts scanning for threats even when they aren't there. But gratitude activates the exact opposite system, the recovery system. It slows your breathing, relaxes your muscles, steadies your heartbeat, and most importantly, it signals to your brain, you're safe. You can heal now. Think of it like turning off an alarm that's been blaring inside your mind for weeks or months. When that alarm stops, your body finally gets the green light to repair wounds, physical and emotional. Gratitude is not a soft idea. It's a physiological switch. A switch that tells your entire system, you are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to rebuild. You are allowed to feel hope again. Gratitude pulls you out of the story you tell yourself. When you're hurt, you create stories. Stories about why it happened. Stories about what it means about you. Stories about what the future now holds. He left me because I wasn't enough. I failed because I'm not capable. My illness means life will never get better. This setback means I'm unlucky. That internal narrative becomes your emotional reality. But gratitude interrupts the narrative. It forces you to stop repeating the same painful story. Even one small line of gratitude can disrupt the cycle. I'm grateful I learned something. I'm grateful I'm still showing up. I'm grateful there is still a part of me trying. These tiny statements hold tremendous power because they remind you, your story isn't finished. Your pain isn't permanent. Your identity is not defined by one moment. Gratitude doesn't rewrite your story, but it hands you the pen again. Gratitude rebuilds confidence from the smallest places. Confidence rarely returns in big leaps. It returns in small, almost invisible steps. And gratitude is the flashlight that helps you see those steps. A person recovering from heartbreak might not feel better overnight, but they might notice. I made it through a day without crying. I said no to something that wasn't good for me. I'm grateful I'm learning boundaries. Someone recovering from a physical injury might say, I'm grateful I can move a little better today. I'm grateful for the people helping me heal. Someone rebuilding after failure might say, I'm grateful I learned what my weaknesses are. I'm grateful I still have the chance to try again. These aren't small things. They're proof. Proof that you're getting stronger even when you don't feel it. Healing hides its progress. Gratitude reveals it. Gratitude changes the way you see yourself. Pain can distort your identity. You start seeing yourself through the lens of what hurt you. But gratitude becomes a mirror reflecting who you really are. Resilient, capable, still trying, still growing, still here. Every time you practice gratitude, you quietly remind yourself, I'm not broken, I'm healing. And that shift in identity might be the most powerful transformation of all. Because when you believe you are healing, you actually begin to heal faster. Gratitude strengthens relationships that help you heal. People often isolate themselves when they're wounded. They feel misunderstood, embarrassed, or afraid of burdening others. But gratitude reconnects you with the people who can support you. I'm grateful for the friend who didn't give up on me. I'm grateful for the message someone sent. I'm grateful I'm not alone in this. Those thoughts create emotional bridges. And healing becomes easier when you're not doing it by yourself. Gratitude doesn't just bring people closer. It helps you appreciate the ones who were quietly saving you without you even realizing it. Gratitude helps you accept what you can't control. One of the hardest parts of healing is accepting the unchangeable. You can't change the past. You can't undo the hurt. You can't always control outcomes. But gratitude helps you shift focus. From loss to what remains. From fear to what's possible. From pain to potential. Acceptance is not defeat. It's the doorway to peace. And gratitude is often the first step toward opening that door. Gratitude turns survival into growth. There is a difference between surviving and healing. Surviving is breathing. Healing is becoming. Surviving is endurance. Healing is transformation. Surviving is, I'm still here. Healing is, I'm becoming someone stronger. When gratitude becomes part of your daily emotional landscape, you slowly switch from survival to growth. You begin to ask, what lesson is here? How can this pain shape me into someone wiser? What strength is developing inside me right now? What version of me is emerging from this struggle? And one day, almost without noticing, you wake up with a new thought. I'm grateful for what this experience taught me. That sentence signals that you've gone beyond pain. You've turned it into wisdom. Gratitude makes you emotionally lighter. Pain is heavy. Stress is heavy. Worry is heavy. But gratitude lightens the emotional load just enough to keep you moving. It takes away the emotional weight of complaining. It softens the sting of comparison. It removes the pressure of perfection. It reminds you, you don't need everything to be perfect to feel grounded. You don't need your life to be complete to feel hope. You don't need every answer to move forward. Healing becomes possible the moment life stops feeling like a burden. Gratitude helps create that shift. Gratitude brings back your sense of control. Pain makes you feel powerless, like life is happening to you, not with you. But gratitude hands you back the wheel. It doesn't solve every problem, but it gives you control over one crucial thing: your internal state. You can't control what happened, but you can control the story you tell yourself about it. You can control your focus. You can control how you respond. You can control which thoughts you feed. And that sense of control becomes the foundation of confidence. Gratitude helps you look toward the future again. When you're hurt, the future seems blurry, distant, or even intimidating. Pain makes you look backward. Healing makes you look forward. Gratitude gently shifts your gaze. I'm grateful I still have choices. I'm grateful there are still things to build. I'm grateful the future isn't written yet. Those thoughts reawaken the part of you that dreams. And dreams are fuel for recovery. Gratitude heals you by changing the way you show up each day. Healing isn't about big breakthroughs. Healing is small decisions repeated consistently. You get out of bed. You try again. You forgive yourself. You breathe deeper. You let go a little. You hold on to something good. You give yourself a moment of peace. Gratitude makes these decisions easier. It becomes the quiet anchor that keeps you grounded when your emotions pull you in every direction. And over time, Those small decisions change everything. If you're listening to this right now, and you're in the middle of heartbreak, or trying to recover from failure, or fighting an inner battle nobody else sees, you don't need a miracle. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need overnight change. You just need one thing: a moment. One moment a day where you choose gratitude over despair. One moment where you let a little light into the darkness. One moment where you remind yourself, I'm still here. I'm still becoming. And my story isn't over. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens in these small, quiet choices. So today, choose gratitude. Not because life is perfect, but because even in the imperfect, painful, uncertain parts, there is something inside you worth holding on to. Something strong, something resilient, something beautiful. And it's guiding you toward the next version of yourself. One day at a time. One breath at a time. One moment of gratitude at a time.